are probably, are the most affected. But now they're bringing them into the fold. So it shows where they're coming from and where they're going. Okay, so I want to encourage you to, at the very least, use this little note section here to show, are you building on a similar idea or are you building on an opposing idea between your paragraphs? That would be the minimum for this essay. Okay, so the other big thing is that we are now going to be working on MLA quotations and an MLA Works Cited. So I put an MLA YouTube playlist on Canvas in both 99X, but just to make things easier, we're going to go to 1A for all of the resources this time around. So go to 1A again. If you look at Module 2, Week 9, there are like 3 different resources for this essay. And the other thing is that if you have the little Siegel handbook, these are the pages that go over in much more detail MLA. But let me go over some quick notes for you here. So if I make this bigger, so the 2 things are how to use quotes inside an essay, and then how do you do your MLA Works Cited page. So the first thing is how do you use quotes inside an essay. So the first thing is if you have the author's last name and the page number. Those are the 2 pieces of information you need. So if you have the author's last name and page number, that is the information you put in the parentheses after the quotation. And you put at the end of the sentence and you put the period on the outside. You can also just introduce the quote with the author and then put the page at the end. So if you've already mentioned the author, you just have to put the page number, and you don't need PG or page, you just put the number, and you always put the period on the outside. So the same thing if you paraphrase, which means you just put the general idea of the quote in your own words, you still need to give credit to the author and the page number. So this person just sort of summarized the general information. You still have to use the in-text citation. And then this information also tells you if there's more than one author. This is what to do if there's 2 authors. This is what to do if there's 3 or more authors. Okay, so this is sort of my overview of that. Let me put this down here. So you should either introduce the article and author before the quote. So if there is no page number, like we did before, you just have to give as much information as you can. So Stephanie Rosenblum, let me do a little extra space here, the author of But Will It Make You Happy explains, amid weak job and housing markets, consumers are saving more and spending less than they have in decades. So this is if there's no page numbers. So if you're getting an article off the internet, so our 2 shorter articles, they were just off of the web. Okay, so if there's no page numbers, you just have to basically give as much information as you can before the quotation. But if you do have the page number, you want to put the page number afterwards. Okay, so if you have the page number, include it. If you don't have the page number, just give as much information as you can beforehand. Okay, so when in doubt, give as much information, author, title, and for the title of an article, you're going to use quotation marks. Okay, so the good news for this time around is that I have created a works cited page for you, so all you have to do is actually copy it off of our Google Doc. So if you see, these are our 3 articles. So at the end of every essay, you have to do a new page that says MLA Works Cited, and you want to alphabetize it by the last name, the author's last name, and you want to put the title of the article. You want to put the title of the journal or the title of the publication. So like this one is the New York Times, this one is the Journal of Consumer Psychology. And then you want to get more in depth of, is there a volume? Is there like a number of the journal? And then you want to give the date, the pages, and then if it came from like a database. Okay, so you always end with a period as well. So this one is New York Times, so you give the URL because it came from a website. So same thing, this is from the Atlantic, so it came from just a URL website, so you give the URL. So again, you go with the last name, first name, the title, the publication. There was no volume or number, so you just put the date, and then the website it came from. Okay, so when we actually get into doing your own research, we're going to go over some videos of actually how to do research and make sure that you have your MLA a little more clear. But this time around, as long as you have the MLA Works Cited page, that's fine. I want you to do a little more, focusing a little bit more on making sure that you have the quotations. So as long as you have quotations and you're introducing it with the author and the title, or if there's a page number, use the page number. That's what I'm more concerned about this time. And then you can just copy and paste the MLA Works Cited page. Okay, so make sure you log into a Google Doc, copy and paste it over, and then you're in good standing this time. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the two prompts. So I'm just going to make sure that you have it. So you should be looking at this yourself. Remember, it's 750 words to 1,000 words, so it should be at least 3 pages. We're going to look at the prompts. Where it says intended audience, you really want to make sure that you're persuasive, that your I and your E persuade somebody that might not agree with you, because it says does not agree with your point of view. And then, as I mentioned in the last video, it's a clear thesis, well-developed body paragraphs. I am going to be looking at clear sentences this time, but you will be getting feedback from me when you turn in your pie outline. And 3 quotes.